Just sitting here thinking about how Devon Graham has never seen this movie, even though it's streaming right now on Amazon Prime. That's just not cool, Devon Graham. You son of a bitch. You mother...
It's Drewski McGillicuddy's The Gate movie review.
If you can call it that. Hey everybody, it's Drewski McGillicuddy, and if my neighbor would just shut the fuck up for like 15 minutes, then I could talk to y'all about the movie The Gate from 1987 starring little Stevie Dorff, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna beat around the bush. This is one of my all-time favorite horror films from when I was a child, and I'd gladly like to tell you about it right now. Right off the bat, this movie is just caked with atmosphere. Now, I'm sure if any of you have seen my Halloween 2018 review, I mentioned how that movie lacks atmosphere. Well, go watch The Gate. You'll see what I mean when I say... Just watch this movie if you want to know what atmosphere looks like. Because in this movie, you can actually see it and feel it and almost taste it. Because the opening scene has just got this ominous feeling to it. And I'm not even necessarily sure what ominous means, but I'm pretty sure that that's what this opening scene has to it, if it were a feeling. But anyway, that's all beside the point. So Glenn wakes up from this horrific nightmare about this horrific treehouse. I don't know, something about, just look at it. It's just, would you go up there? Hell no, you wouldn't catch me up there, y'all crazy. But anyway, he wakes up to find that the tree of his nightmares is being cut down, and there just happens to be this hole where the root ball used to be. And they try to fill in the hole, but the hole keeps, forming itself, and Glenn's dad thinks that he was digging around, and he's like, you know what, you're grounded. Even though it's like, okay, whatever. But then Glenn and his sister Al are left home alone for 3 days because the parents are going on a... I don't know if they ever actually say where the parents are going. But I know a lot of people that watch this now are probably going to be like, well, why didn't the kids just do this? Or why didn't the kids just do that? It was like, it's the 80s. Kids were different in the 80s. We didn't have baby gates everywhere. We weren't all wearing helmets. That's sort of shit. Like, this was a 15-year-old and like a 9-year-old, and they were left home alone for 3 days with no helmets and no baby gates. Keep that in mind, everybody, because nowadays, shit, you can't even leave your 21-year-old at home because of fucking over... Well, hopefully I cut that out. Anyway, so they're digging around in the backyard in this hole, and they find these geodes, or what were they? Were they meteorites or something? I don't know. They find these rocks that's got the little crystal things in the side that people used to collect back in the day. I don't know if you've collected them. I know people that collect them. They seem like they're worth money. They're fun to look at, but that's beside the point. So they're hammering this one in the bedroom.
Oh,
and when
yeah.
it cracks open, they got one of those little sketchy thingies from the 80s, and it gets some words on it, and dumbass Terry or dumbass Glenn, one of the two, I can't remember, I wasn't paying attention, they read these words off. And remember how I was talking about there's a gate to hell in this hole in the backyard? Well, these words that they speak unlock that gate, and now all hell's breaking loose. But no, seriously, I stole that joke from somebody else. I'll be honest with you. But yeah, after this point, things get creepy. Because, like, I guess the parents left after the fact, because he gets yelled at for digging around in this hole, and then they cover up the hole, but there's these rocks. Don't worry about it, all right? I don't remember, even though I've seen this movie 3 million times. But just listen to me. Listen, are you listening? So they're left home alone is the main point that I'm trying to get at here. And that's when all this legitimately creepy, scary type shit starts happening. Especially if you're a kid in the 80s and you happen to be watching this movie by your fucking self. Even maybe if you're an adult. I don't know. Because last night I watched it with an 8-year-old, and I wasn't that scared. But this kid was like... Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. And I've watched many a movie with him. We just watched the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. And he sat there, and sometimes he'd smile. Fuck. Sometimes he'd smile, but then watching him watch this last night was just incredible. Because he was on the edge of his seat the entire time. The smile never left his face, even when he was scared. Like, because there were some scary parts that they're still legitimately scary. Have I ever talked about this movie before? Anyway, hold on. Like, I got all this shit. Like, I don't know if I told you the story about this asshole over here, it won't quit fucking making noise. Did this for 2 fucking hours. Now the goddamn skeleton fell off and probably his fucking head fell off. Not here to talk about that. We're talking about The Gate. And how they're left home alone, and when this scary shit starts happening, like, for instance, Terry comes out, and his mother had died, okay? His mother's dead. He lives alone with his father, and he hangs out most of the time at Glenn's house. And he's spending the night, and he hears this creepy voice, which is creepy to me, and this scene, I'm just gonna play it, like, if I'm allowed to. Am I allowed to? Please don't sue me.
Missed you so.
But when I'm a little kid, man, that's some scary, scary shit. And I'm still, like, not necessarily sure. Like, when I downloaded it and watched the scene to put it in the video, it's kind of still. Like, even last night, I think this might still be scary. But what the fuck do I know? I'm just some asshole on the internet. But there's so many scenes in this movie that are just absolutely horrifying. Because what happens is, like, there's a party, okay? And they levitate the kid. Like, that's the first night. They levitate the kid, and then, you know, scary shit happens. And then the scene with Terry and his mom, which is just, fuck. But then we get, like, arms coming out from under the bed, and, like, a lot of people that watch this will be like, well, I'd be out of that house. It's like, well, where the fuck are you gonna go? Because your parents aren't home, and you're a kid. You're, like, 15 and a 9-year-old. You don't know, we gonna go to the grocery store? Because maybe go to a friend's house, but we gonna walk? It's scary, it's dark outside. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, the first night, there is some scary, creepy shit going on. And then you find out Terry has this record, and it's basically the instruction manual for the gate and how to close the gate to hell and send all the demons that eventually come back to where they came from. Okay? And he goes over and he tells them that, and he's like, we gotta cover up this hole because I think, you know, something's awry, blah, 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 blah. And, you know, Al comes up and says, what are you guys doing? And he says, oh, I think we accidentally opened a gateway to hell and now there's demons. And I guess she doesn't believe him at first, and it seems like, you know, there's a couple incidents where shit happens, because that might even be after the crazy shit that happened the night before with all the fucking crazy shit, because, like, the dog dies. Like, there's so much crazy shit going on in this movie, and it's just ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous, the thought. There's people out here that haven't seen this movie. Like I said before, like, I've been trying to talk about this for so long, and there's just so much stuff to talk about. Like, the demons for instance. Like, these little demons, like, they're not absolutely the scariest, because even when I was a little kid, I wasn't really scared by the demons, especially the part where they're in the backyard, they're looking at this hole, which this scene, if I can find the actual scene, is just cool as shit. The way they got the hole and it's glowing purple, and they're looking down and the fog is just sucking into the hole or coming out of the hole, one of the two. And then Terry falls down into the hole, and we get these cute ass little demons. They're just the cutest little fucking demons. And the way they did this was insane. Like, it's forced perspective, kind of how they did with the Lord of the Rings and one of my all-time favorites, Darby O'Gill and the Little People, where they set the big people on a higher stage and them on a lower stage, set the camera over here, and did all this fancy movie magic to not have to use CGI and make it look really believable. I mean, it's kind of goofy looking by today's standards, but like, this was mind-blowing at the time. And you gotta understand, like, this shit looked real as fuck. Not to mention, later on, we'll get to another scene where it's just like, oh shit, that scarred me for life. Now I'm not gonna ever sleep again. But we'll get to that. But yeah, he's down in the hole, and he's gotta get out. But anyway, yeah, I can't do this. I cannot do this. Anyway, you thought the first night was scary. Wait till you get to the second night, because they was telling ghost stories on the first night. And I believe Terry was talking about somebody was buried in the walls while they were building this house, which, you know, he totally made up the story. But then all of a sudden there's this dude in the walls that Terry totally made up. And like, the best part of the movie, or one of the best, like, there's so many best parts of the movie in this movie. And one of the best parts is when they're trapped in the bedroom and it falls over and turns into the little demons. And it's just so cool, and like the effect that went into it, I don't know, just makes you want to get the fucking Vestron Blu-ray for $30 if you can find it, with the slipcover, and just watch that shit and see if the special features show exactly how they did that, because that is impressive. Let's see it one more time if I have it. I mean, I might just be sitting here like looking like a jackass, because this whole review is terrible. Then we get to like the end spectacle. It's like groundbreaking stuff. Because like I said, if there's a chance that you're one of those people that haven't seen this, I don't want to spoil everything. But this big monster at the end, for some stop motion stuff, it's quality stuff. And this movie only had a $2.5 million budget. So yeah, it all takes place in this house, but some of the effects are absolutely insane. And like, that's what I think makes this movie hold up, is the effects still look and feel scary. The atmosphere in this movie is just, I don't know. I don't fucking know. Like I said, I can't keep stressing enough how many absolute creepy, terrifying moments there are in this movie. And this movie's PG-13, and it's technically a kid's movie. And people wonder why this movie scared me as a child, and still kind of, you know, scares you. Because if you're sitting there in a dark room and you see this,
Mom! Dad! You've been
it's gonna fuck you up, man. I mean, come on now. Now, this movie does break a cardinal sin, okay? But then it redeems itself. And if you can guess what I'm saying when it breaks the cardinal sin, because I'm not going to tell you, even though I might have already showed you, it breaks a cardinal sin, but then it rectifies itself. Because, actually, no, you know what? I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you. You might know what I'm talking about. But let's get to the fucking meat and potatoes. Like, I talked about how that stop motion monster looked all cool. Well, he grabs Stephen Dorff by the hand and he pats him on the head, and he lets him go. And you're thinking, what the hell? But no, but that's all beside the point. He looks at his hand. It's so fucked up. Like, why is that? That's worse than like fingernails getting ripped off or like spiders crawling on my face. Like, it's still to this day is like one of the most unsettling things I've ever fucking seen in a movie. Unless it's been like duplicated in another movie, in which case it wasn't as good. So, everybody, that's as far as I can get, apparently, because my brain don't work. Maybe one of these days I'll start writing stuff down. But that's The Gate. And if I would have to put a rating on it, it would be... Is that the IMDb rating? The fuck is the matter with you people? Huh? Who the fuck do you think you are? Sorry. But yeah, that's my rating. I have no idea anymore, everybody. Thanks for watching. Make sure you click the like button and the subscribe button and the bell and the thingy and the comments and the whatnots and the hey. And look, I made this fancy card so you can follow me on the interwebs. I gotta go. These guys think I'm crazy because I started screaming for no reason and there's nobody supposed to be home.